Hello everyone, Josh first back again, bringing guys some more 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, and today I'm going to be showing you a video that you've probably seen before, and it'll be looking pretty familiar if you watched my past couple of videos. But a lot of you have been enjoying these types of videos, but some of you have been asking the question, Josh, how do you build your farm team? You know, what are you using? What's the substats? What's the gear you're rocking? How is your Gowther building up all that patience and letting your Hauser hit for so much damage, etc, etc. Well, the first thing I want to tell you is I'm actually not running fully optimal gear on my Hauser yet, because I've not had the time or the resources to work on a second pierce piece of gear for the left side. It's currently only a little bit on the right side. So what you've been seeing has been working very, very good. It's a very, very fast farm team, and I'll tell you about some of the secrets why it's working as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into Hauser really quick. This is going to be mostly, believe it or not, this is going to be mostly a Gowther video, talking about how to really gear up Gowther, but we got to talk about some of the other things here, particularly with this team. So if we go to our equipment, we see that we're clearly running attack and crit damage, which this is a set that I kind of swipe around quite a few characters, like Red Demon Meliodas or a Jericho, for example, or even sometimes I put this on Arthur, because of Arthur's ult, how it works. It's really, really cool. Depending on if I want to swap in between HP defense, but that's for another video. But anyways, so this particular gear is attack and crit damage, and you see here on the right side, we have attack, pierce rate, attack, pierce rate. Now this pierce rate needs to be re-rolled. This gear was meant to be all attack and is going to be used for my DPS units, but it rolled a couple really good pierce rates with a couple okay attack stats. So I kind of left it that way, and I figured, you know what, I just fixed this pierce rate right here. I'll just make this a piece of gear for Hauser. Now for the left side, obviously this is built all around attack purely. So ideally I'd want to get more pierce rate on this for Hauser, but this gear rolled so well that I'm going to leave this the way it is and have to just make a whole new set of gear, or not really a set, but a piece. So that's my Hauser stats. He's getting that, that's where he's getting his attack from. That's putting his pierce rate right now at 41.7% currently for me. I'd like to get that maybe around 50, maybe even 55%, maybe even 60 if I really, really want to push it. Because he will be getting 3 times that pierce, of course, on his first skill, which you can see right there, 3 times pierce rate increase. Yada yada. But that's basically what's going on with Hauser, obviously, and I'm linking up with Red Gilthunder, who is completely all built up, and he's running attack and defense just to force more attack into my Hauser. Now, for Gowther, where we really want to talk about here with Gowther, what makes Gowther work really well for farming in this particular team, and how to really gear him up to make him work for pretty much all forms of content and really utilize all that he has to offer. Now, people always love this card, ranking, basically disabling their attack skills for 1 to 2 turns with a little bit of damage on there. That's nice. Attack ceiling, lovely. This is what makes him super broken. His rank up cards, just, invasion arrow. We know what it does. We see it every day, everywhere we go. Gowther, Gowther, Gowther. The dude can rank up cards. Absolutely broken. And then his ult is also fantastic because you can remove up to 5 ultimate move gauges, or orbs as we call them, while doing also a pretty nice amount of damage as well, AoE. Very fantastic. But what we really don't consider and talk too much about with Gowther is his passive. Now his passive can do some amazing things. You can increase all allies attack by 10% at the start of the next turn if the hero doesn't take damage. Limit 5 times. And of course it resets if he does take damage. So what you basically want to get is not only for him to just avoid being hit in general, but if he does get hit, try to make them patient out that damage. Which, by the way, patience does a lot of things. Patience can take away the ult removal from Merlin. If Merlin or Hellbrim go to attack you and they hit for patience with that, they won't remove an orb, which is awesome. If you try to get hit with a debuff like a Petrify from a red Hellbrim or a blue King and it hits for patience, they will not get that Petrify because they're not doing any damage, and those debuffs or those takeaways require you to actually land a hit for the other portion of that skill to take effect. Now, obviously, a debuff like a Red Slater would obviously land because it doesn't do any damage, or even like a rank 1 Blue Elizabeth card. So those things obviously will still go through debuff-wise, but it's also just a very good passive. And this passive is also heavily utilized in Guild Boss. If you are doing Guild Boss and you want to maximize your Jericho damage, go to turn 6, patience out for the first few turns, and now Jericho is going to be hitting for 50% more, or she's going to have 50% more attack, which of course, you know, helps with her crit damage on her ult, because everything that she does damage-wise stems from attack. So just because she has all this crit damage, she still needs a pretty decent amount of attack to pull from that originally. So, hey, not a bad combo there. So a lot of people may not know that, but really, what you want to do when you're building Gowther, instead of running him HP defense, you want to run him all defense, because this not only will help with your farming, it'll help in PvP, it'll help in, you know, PvE content such as demon raids, boss fights, final boss, whatever you're using him for, whatever stage, whatever manner. All defense is the way to go with Gowther. Now, Gowther, obviously, you want to try and get attack substats. My gear isn't, you know, the best right now. I got to reroll a lot of things. We're going to be talking about gear and how to prep it for hammers in another video. But you can see here, it's just all attack substats. Down here, we have, of course, all HP substats. You can see over here as well, all HP, easy peasy. But right here, the middle pieces, this is where it gets very important. You want to build him with a little bit of resistance and defense. So you want to keep that in mind when you're working on gear. So you can see here, we have all resistance and some defense on this side. And then on this side over here, we have, again, more defense and resistance. You want a little combination of the two, plus you want to run full defense. You want to try and squeeze out over 8k or more on his defense as best as you possibly can. Of course, you're going to be utilizing cosmetics if you have them. You're going to be utilizing your Link hero as well to try and pull a little bit more defense out of him. But you also want to try and maintain HP as well. So I'd prefer on his Link unit, if you want to make him like really optimal for patiencing out a lot of damage, you probably want your Link unit to run all defense as well. But HP and defense is also fine, because then it'll give him a little bit more HP to work with. And still have a pretty nice amount of defense. So there's a couple things that you can do for your Link partners, such as like Blue King. So yeah, HP defense or all defense for the Link is not bad. But if you're wanting to go full defense for the Patience with the resistance that he already has, which, by the way, his base resistance is 70%. I believe it's 71 or 72 with cosmetics as well. So it gets pretty crazy. His resistance, you know, long story short, gets pretty high. You can see my resistance right now is sitting at 94.3%. If I fixed this gear up a little bit more and I squeezed a little bit more defense out of some of these lower rules, and I think some of my resistance could be a little fixed a little bit as well. Not too much more, but I could squeeze a little bit, then he's going to be even better off. I could probably squeeze 82, 83, 100 defense out of there. I don't really feel like doing all the math right now. But, you know, again, you're going to be able to squeeze a lot of defense out of this guy. And then he's going to be patiencing out a lot of things, because in PvP, for example, if you run a Gowther in the back who gives 30% defense related stats, guess what Gowther is getting? He's getting 30% additional defense on his already high defense, but he's also gaining 30% more resistance, and he already has a high resistance. So you're going to be well over the 100% mark. You're going to be well over there. You're going to be like 120, 130, depending on what your gear looks like. So you definitely want to play around a little bit, you know, work on however much defense you want to get out of those two pieces of gear, how much resistance you're looking to get. And when you do those things, he's going to be patiencing out a lot of attacks, especially like rank 1 and rank 2 cards. Rank 3 is kind of hit or miss. It depends what your team synergy looks like with that. And of course, ults, that's kind of very difficult to do. But with like Merlin barriers and stuff like that, you could definitely do some tilty stuff and make your Gowther super tanky. But all of that basically is allowing for that passive to get better and better. So let's go ahead and do a run really quick, just so I can kind of show you a little bit about what I'm talking about. This is the 6th floor for, I believe, the Green Book farming in the Fort Solgris. This is one of the places that I'm farming currently all day long to get some gold. So let's go ahead and just let this play out. So just for the sake of my team not killing them too fast, I'm just going to go ahead and pop both these. These might actually still kill. I don't know. Let's see. Nah, we'll be okay. All right. So you can see here we got hit for patience. That does no damage. And then he hit for patience all those times. And then you can see there the active unique activated. So now I should be at 1 on the stack. See here, getting additional 10%. You can see that there, plus 965. And then if you look over here on our Gowther, we're getting plus 1,920. So now we're at 12,130. So let's go ahead and just, you know, pop a skill here. It doesn't matter, they're dead either way. I'm just going to move these over just for the next turn. All right. So now we're going to be activating that unique again. So now we'll be up to 2 stacks. So you can see here, we're now at stack number 2. We're now sitting at 11,575 attack for our Gowther, gaining an additional 1930. If we look over here at our Gowther, we're now up to 13,256 with 3,023 being added from our Gowther passive. So you guys can see clearly now that the rain is gone, just joking, that number goes up quite a bit, and it gets pretty ridiculous if you leave Gowther unattended. So if you guys and gals out there are playing in PvP and you leave that Gowther unattended for a few turns and you're wondering why when another unit hits you, it hits so hard, that's probably one of the main contributing factors. So this is a good thing to learn, even for those of you that are, you know, trying to be more of a min-max kind of person and learn new strats and how to play against certain meta teams in PvP. So hey, you could take a lot from this video, guys. This is a big learning experience for some of you out there that did not realize this, how powerful that passive can be and how you can utilize it to your best interest. So let's go ahead and just pop these really quick. All right, and now it's going to go up an additional time, so we're now going to be up to 3 stacks. Now, depending on what kind of stage you're farming the boss portion, the final wave, if you will, you may not always patience out, but sometimes you do. It depends. Some of the things that you can look at here is you can look at the attacks. You can see, okay, their attack stat is 58-45, or 48 rather. You can look at his brawn cards. He does 200%, he does 80%, and then his ult, of course, will do 320. So those are some of the things that you're obviously going to look at and kind of do the numbers. And I love numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I'm testing these things all the time. Me and the fellas in our Discord, we're crunching these numbers for things on a daily basis. If you've ever been in our Discord, you can learn so much in there because we are doing these number crunchings all day long, figuring out new and unique things and ways to build teams and make some characters shine a little more so than they're given credit for. This is one of those things that we talk about all the time. So yeah, you can see here it's going to do 100% damage. We're just going to go ahead and just pop our ult, which should do a crap load because you can see here that we're now up to 3 stacks for 12,539 attack, gaining 2894 from just 3 stacks. And then on Gowther, we're already over 14k, gaining 4,000. That is a huge chunk of attack being gained right now from Gowther. It's absolutely incredible. And not to mention, one thing I did forget to mention, Gowther's also contributing a little bit of that as well because of his passive of 8%. I actually forgot to mention that early on in the fight, so I better do so now before I do forget, because I know some people will be like, Josh, you forgot about his passive in the comment section below. I can see that now. So good thing I remember to tell you guys. But yeah, 4,126, that's including the 8% that he's gaining from his own passive and what he's gaining from Gowther. But nonetheless, it's a pretty big bump. So since he's using 2 brawn cards, I don't think that he would even do any damage to me. He'd probably patience me out, to be honest. Matter of fact, I kind of want to see, because he is, like I said, he's got what, 58-48 attack with I believe it was 200% on his skill 1, but I have 9,059 defense. Now again, if I was in a situation in PvP where I was running Gowther in the back, guaranteed I would patience him out. But let's go ahead and see what happens. I'm just going to move some cards around for the sake of just testing this out. We already know we'd kill them with the ult, so let's just wait. Let's see if they actually attack Gowther. I don't think they're not even gonna attack Gowther. Yeah, they did. Yep, it patienced him out. So even with 5,000 attack with 200% on the multiplier, it still wasn't enough to break through. So now I'm sitting at a stack of 4, doing 13,500 attack now, with Gowther now pushing over 15k. So it gets pretty crazy, guys. The longer you wait, the more the receipt might hurt. So there you guys go. Absolutely incredible. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I definitely wanted to make this, and really you guys inspired me to make this because a lot of people in the comment sections were asking me how my farm team worked, how you utilize Gowther in this farm team, how Gowther is working alongside him, how they both benefit each other, and that's pretty much more or less how I do it. So hopefully it helps a lot of you out. You can utilize this knowledge in all the game modes that you're using Gowther in, and hopefully you're well off, and you know, you're better off for it. So anyways, have a good day. As always, don't forget to subscribe, tick notifications, join us in the Discord in the description below, and if you guys want to play the game in beautiful full screen mode, go ahead and use my affiliate link in the description below with BlueStacks. It's free to download. Definitely check it out. It helps the channel a bunch. If you like today's video, drop a thumbs up and comment below what you guys think. And again, I hope it was helpful. Until then, peace.